Hello and welcome to the Quiver channel. I'm Jason, your host. I'm currently doing a lot of maintenance work on my computer system. My computer systems are very important to me. And I have so many computer systems around the house. They all need weekly updates and modification of the software that I'm using on them. They need to be tested to make sure they're still all reliable in case I actually need to turn them on and use them. There's so much that I have to do because it's all part of my medical coping strategy. It's all part of the treatment that keeps me going every week, every day. Whenever I make a change to my computer systems, I have to put a lot of effort into it. Now, I've reduced this computer here down from 28 terabytes of storage to 20 terabytes of storage by removing the two external 4 terabyte SSDs. Why would you need that much storage? Because I had just over 1,500 games installed. Why would you need 1,500 games installed? And this is across Steam, Ubisoft Connect, Epic Store, and GOG. And a few rare games that were installed without any launcher. Multiple reasons and coping strategies. Number one, if Putin does ever decide to go to war and trashes the underwater cables and things like that, stuff like Steam will not be a priority. Downloading your games will not be a priority if all of that stuff is damaged during a war situation. I have enough games on all my systems set up that I could probably game for the next 20 years without having to worry. So having that big store of games on my system helped with that coping strategy, helped with waking up at 3 a.m. and thinking what happens if someone actually does do something crazy and initiates a war, because we do know that if they do, the communication systems will be the first things hit, because connections between countries and that are very important. And for me, the games are never just about, they're not just games, they're part of coping strategies. I have backups for everything. The other one was, when my brain wants to play a game, it'll want to play a game right then. You may think, oh, you can download a game. Yes, but in the 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 minutes it takes to download the actual game, my brain will think, okay, bored now, let's go on to something else. Having all the games installed helped alleviate that. But there is a critical point you reach where you've got too many games that you actually miss games that you want to play, that you forget about games. Someone bought me Dying Light 2. I haven't turned it on once. I installed it and forgot about it. There's lots of games on my systems that I bought or someone gifted me and I installed, and then my brain went in a different direction and just not there. And unfortunately, the way that works is very simple. With the kind of brain I've got, I only have a certain amount of what's called a to-do list or task manager. Imagine a task manager with only like 10 slots. And those are all the things that your brain can actually keep in memory and keep sustained. Now, certain things like something that interests you might take up the entire 10 of those task slots. Everything else goes away. People don't understand how it works, but like, I have an online girlfriend. We talk every week. So we keep in touch in that. We've been together since 2019. When I'm not actively talking to her, when I'm not actually actively engaging, my brain completely switches off from knowing that. Just the way my brain is. When I'm interested in a game, I will be fully interested in the game. Like at the moment, it's EDF. EDF 6 I fucking love. The jank of it, the fun of it, the different messages, the storyline that's crazy. I absolutely adore it. The minute I'm not playing it, it's gone from my mind. Because I'm focused on something else. This is one of the hardest things for people to understand. I don't love the person I'm with less than anybody else. But if I'm in a relationship with someone and they're not in front of me and I'm not with them at that moment, and a game's there, or my drawers USB cables need to be all wound up and tidied up and work out how many I've got of each time, that will take the 99% of my entire focus. It's just the way it is for a neurodivergent person like me. So at the moment I'm going through my list of games that I have, and I remember first of all, the reason for removing the 2 external SSDs is they're going to be used in the planned AI build. I have 4 of them, so that's 16 terabytes that will be added to that unit. And like I say, I'll talk more about it when it happens, because it's doing my head in that it's going to happen and that I'm actually considering it and all that. More than considering it now. And it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on? So yeah. And I've just gone into my Steam, and they've showed me a game that made me go, ooh, what is this game? So I got completely distracted while I'm talking to you. So let's just click on that. And we need to put that on the wish list. That's a weird game. Sometimes Steam suggests to me, it's like, cool. Okay, so go to library. I now have 5 favorite games: Beat Saber, Pal World, Star Trek Online, Starship Troopers, and VRchat. I haven't updated my favorite list for a while. Then I've got all my hentai games. Yes, I have 119 hentai games installed. That's just the way it is. I have 92 VR games installed. Some of those I'm going to remove because I haven't played them in a long time. And then I have, and this is just Steam, 626 uncategorized games. Oh, I also have my 20, not quite bullet hell, but bullet hell, reverse bullet hell, the kind of games I like that, with stuff like Brotato, Hollow Cure, Loop Hero, Nomad Survival, Peglin, those bits and pieces games are. And that's just Steam. So I've been going through and seeing if there's anything I can remove from the list that I won't miss. I've had to basically go click on a title on my list and thought, when's the last time I played this? And then I've got to ask myself, what is the chance that I will actually want to ever play this game again? And if it's a no, then I remove it from the list so I can see games that I bought and actually want to. And I'm coming to the point of saying, yeah, there's a lot of these things that I have no interest at all in. So let's just pause this while I'm doing this. Because I would like to get rid of another 126 games off my freaking list. So yes, it's 1 hour later, and I've been going through my list of games on my Steam folder, and I'm down to G. And it's been interesting because certain games I've thought, ooh, I really like that. Why haven't I played it? So that's been moved on to my favourites list. Other games I've looked at the Steam store and thought, why did I buy this? I'm never going to play it. And other games, it's like, I have no fucking idea. Let's just leave it on the list, just in case. It's amazing, really, going through so many games and just looking at all the things. And then there's other games it's like when you come to Frostfall, and I think, Frostfall 2 is coming out in September. And so I made sure that was still on my wish list, because I do love Frostfall. I played a large amount of hours in that game, so that stays installed. And I'm slowly going through my entire list of games, and it's like, yeah, I really like that. Yes, maybe. And other ones I've left on there as a comfort blanket. It's a really big thing for me to go through my list and remove some items. It shows the evolution of my coping strategies. You see, your brain is never static. Mental challenges, mental illnesses, mental problems, neurodivergent, call it what you will, but your brain is always adapting to things. What worked yesterday won't work tomorrow. And so you always have to be aware that what you are doing and how you're thinking can change immeasurably. At the moment, I am fixated on EDF. I want to finish the story. I think we've got one last mission to do, and then probably start farming stuff in that game via the actual Inferno levels. But I'm not very good at the game. I'm playing it with a Perdis on Discord, and so it's a game where I can't really complete the missions very easily myself. I get too distracted, I get too overwhelmed by that game. So it's only a game that I can play when my friend is on and not doing other things. Because I do get very overwhelmed in certain games. I love them, but I do get overwhelmed. Like, I remember last night, we're trying to do the last mission, and it's a hell mission. It really is. There's so many end parts. It takes so long, and it's, for two people, it's really hard to do. And so I always remember my points of failure. And I was being attacked by lots of things were chasing us around the map, and I'm trying to go into a position where my character, my wing diver, my flying one, I love that character. I've been trying to, how can I put it? I try to put myself in a position, because my main weapon is a raging, which is a sniper rifle that does a massive amount of damage. But to charge you up takes a while, and with the wing diver, the energy pool you are using for flying and for avoiding damage and to move out of the way of the enemies is the same energy pool which is drawn on to charge the weapon. And to charge the weapon takes your entire amount of energy. So for like 10 seconds after I have charged, I can't jump, I can't fly, I can't dash. And so that weapon will take out an enemy ship with one shot, will blow things up. It can do up to 30,000 damage. It's amazing. But I've got to move around, and I've found myself in a position where I had just charged my weapon to full, and I was about to die. I spend a lot of my time dead on the floor, and I tried to maneuver my aiming sight to get one last shot, take out one last one of the enemy's cannon arms, so that it would make it just slightly easier for Eperdis to continue, because he's amazing at that game. And I completely and totally froze in place because there was too much stuff going on on my screen. And I froze in place, and I died, and I was on the floor. And this happens a lot, an awful lot in this game. I love it with a passion, that game, and I want to complete it, I want to do well on it, but my brain gets overloaded with it at the same time. So, but the sense of achievement when I complete the game is amazing. It really is. So back to looking at this. Let's pause this while I go through some more of my stuff. Well, I've reached N on my Steam list, and it really amazes me how many different games I had installed that really there's no point to. I'll keep going though. We're almost done. I will get through this before anything else today. Okay, another hour and a half has gone by, and I've just dropped all my stuff down to about 800 games installed. That's another 300 games or so gone. It's interesting to go through them all and see the ones that actually say, ooh, I actually want to play that game. And now I'm going to go through it again and be quite restrictive, so that, because if I'm going to have so many computer games, and it is nice to have options. I've noticed that there is some games that I actually want to buy in the future. For example, let's go to my wish list, and a lot of them are not available yet, but stuff like I love Goat Simulator. I want to get Goat Simulator 3. Most of the ones, a lot of the ones are actually on my wish list are coming soon, so they're not out at the moment. But there's stuff like Outbreak. That's an interesting one. It's spelled OUTBRK. That one's an interesting one. Sins of the Solar Empire comes out, I believe, this month. In fact, it might have just come out on the 15th. Sins of the Solar Empire 2. I loved the old strategy games. I played Sins of the Solar Empire, all of their ones. Frostpunk 2 comes out next month. I love Frostpunk. Stalker 2. Still want that, definitely. Armored Core 6. I want that. There's a lot of games I've got on my list now that I'm basically going to be waiting for sales and waiting for bargains and that, because I've got to budget everything. I've really got to budget things at the moment. One of the things I've done this weekend is go through my finances. Because now my mum's passed away, I'm responsible fully for the house bills. I'm responsible for everything to do with the dogs. I have friends who will help me out, but I should not allow that to be a normal thing. It's like having an overdraft in a bank. If you have an overdraft in a bank and you use it every single paycheck and you live within that overdraft, it's no longer an overdraft. I cancelled my overdraft a long time ago because I was just using it as actual money instead of using it as an emergency. Now my mum's passed away, and there was things set up on my mum's account and all that to make sure I was okay, to provide money for me in situations like my birthday and so on, things like that. We had all that set up. Now I'm just me. And being someone who's being disabled, having autism and all the challenges that you face, trying to stay independent and make sure that you don't make a mistake of messing anything up. Like, I have the option in the future to have what's called a living mortgage, where basically, because there's no one to have my house if anything happened to me in the future, if I needed some money in the future, I could basically, you get a mortgage on the house and they don't take the house away from you. You get to keep it until basically you pass away. And they provide you a lump sum of money or an amount of money per month. Now, this house isn't worth a lot. Not a lot at all. It's a very rundown area of the town and the city. In other areas, houses like this would be worth a lot, but it isn't around here. So that is an option for the future, but that isn't something I can rely on, not something I want to do. This is all, I've got to make sure that I cover all the bills every month. Now, that might seem very simple, but we all have issues that come up that we can't deal with straight away. So I have to remember I've had to go through my finances and give myself a little leeway and make sure I've got enough food coming in for me and the dogs, make sure that the dog's insurance is all covered, make sure that insurance on my Quingo and all that, and I plan out for next year an amount of money to be able to buy a new set of batteries for the Quingo next year and to pay for a service once a year on the Quingo, things like that. The insurance for it's good for insurance for a couple of years anyway. And all these little things have to be set up. You have to make sure that, as someone who gets distracted easily, for example, when I paused the video, I intended to just go on my list of games and go through the games. What I actually ended up doing was wandering around the room, picking up cables and winding up cables and putting in my cable drawer. And then I went downstairs and arranged the stuff together for the potential AI server that I'll be setting up. And then I put some stuff away in the bathroom. Then I went downstairs and let the dogs out. Then I played with the dogs. Then I sorted out my lunch, which will be ready about 10 or 11 o'clock. Then I realised that I didn't have enough biscuits in the house, and so I had to count the biscuits that I had in my biscuit. There's only certain biscuits I can have. I keep some biscuits in the house, but I keep them under lock and key and keep them under a timer so I can't binge on them. This is something that is very good for someone who's got these kind of issues. Realised that I've miscalculated my food budget and I need to do a shop in 2 weeks' time. Well, a little more than 2 weeks' time, on the 6th of September. So I've got to, right now actually, no, not yet, because it's not 9 a.m. So I can't do. I've got to make a phone call to do with my mum's details and some things that I've got to still be sorted. And then I came back, and then I started on the list. And I've just realised I left my drink downstairs. My drink is downstairs. I need my drink. I went for a drink to pick up my drink from downstairs 45 minutes ago. And this is a perfect example of going distracted. So what did I do? What distracted me between getting, because I didn't put my audiobook on. I did not put my audiobook on to go from here to the kitchen to pick up my freaking drink, because I just assumed, I made the mistake of thinking that I could do that one simple fucking thing. No. I walked past the bathroom and I thought, hey, I know. My electric toothbrush needs cleaning. So I went and cleaned the electric toothbrush. Once I'd cleaned it, I thought, hey, my electric toothbrush needs charging. Let's put it on charge. Okay, we're doing well. My Steam Decks need charging. Okay, so I go and fetch my Steam Decks. One's downstairs, one's up here. I connect them both up to a charger. I find the cables and plug the cables in. And I think, hey, my Quest 3 needs charging. And the Quest 3 things, I set that up. I plug it in. Hey, my Bobo battery that goes on the back of it, that probably needs charging again. Okay, let's find another cable. Let's connect it to another charger and put that out there. Okay, we've got that. We're doing that much. We've done that. Hey, I think the tablet downstairs for security needs charging. Let's go down and... So I take the tablet from downstairs. I put it into the kitchen. I look at my drink, but then I get distracted and I find a cable to plug in a charger into my battery bank downstairs. Then on the way in, I think, hey, my lightsabers need charging. So then I have to find 3 different cables and connect them up to a USB charger and connect all those 3 charging downstairs. They're all charging downstairs. And then I think, I used my VR headset last night. My index controllers are going to need charging. So I have to find another 2 more cables and plug them into a different charger and connect them all up and get those charging. Then I think, you know what? What about my phone downstairs? My backup phone that's turned off most of the time. I turned it on, check for charge, then put it on charge for another section. And then I came back upstairs. And I forgot to pick up my drink. I forgot to pick up my drink. And so this time I put my Galaxy earbuds in, went downstairs, listening to my audiobook, went into thingy, picked up the drink, then thought to myself, hey, my earplugs that I've got in my ears need charging. So I turned off my audiobook. I put them on charge in the kitchen on the battery bank as well. And then I come back upstairs and I forget my drink. And then I finally went down got my drink, and I'm back. This is what happens. This is what can happen. Pretty much every fucking thing I own now is on charge and is connected to a charger of some kind. And it was a struggle to get back up here and continue this. Anyway, I'm going to spend the rest of the day probably doing bits and pieces. I do want to go out on my Quingo, but I don't know whether to go out before. I'll probably go out before I have lunch. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I give the dog a new bone downstairs. Zaki is playing with the bone. Bertie has gone to sleep. Bertie's got fed up with coming up and down the stairs because like I've been up and downstairs so many times today. It's coming into autumn, even though we're going to have probably one last heat wave by the end of August. And so I've had to start thinking about how I'm going to heat the house, what temperature I'm going to set everything up, and all the normal things. So yeah, bye-bye for now.